Hello and welcome to another episode of the Football Foodie. Today we're going to be talking about who goes to the Champions League finals. I'm going to be giving you my predictions of the teams that make it to the finals. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Any like, any subscribe, greatly appreciated. Thank you for supporting my channel if you already liked and subscribed. Really grateful. So let's just get right into it. Let's give you my predictions of the teams that I think are going to go to the finals. I gave you some predictions last week. Wow, were they off? So let's just recap this really quickly. I predicted last week that Bayern was going to beat PSG. Oh, was I wrong? What an entertaining game that was though. 5 goals from PSG, 4 from Bayern. I would have never guessed there would be 9 goals in that game. That was a really interesting game. A lot of goals. Kvaratskhelia, I'm never going to pronounce that name properly. The Georgian wonder, he was PSG's man of the match that game, chipping in with 2 goals. Olise also had a good game as well. He blew by Marquinhos for a really nice goal. The game was just filled with a lot of goals and a lot of entertaining soccer. Neuer did not stop a shot this game. That probably would help PSG a lot if I'm going to be honest. But yeah, these teams both look like they're in form. Bayern Munich, they started off the game with a Harry Kane penalty kick, and I thought it would just set the tempo of Bayern just dominating, but good on PSG. Win the game overall 5-4. Neves had a great goal as well. That flying Ronaldo style header. Good on Neves. He's having a great season. Probably one of the best in form midfielders on the planet. Neves is a really good midfielder. He's really showing off his form. Vitinha ended up playing this game. I feel like that helped PSG's odds a lot too. What a game changer he is. He was definitely the brains of that midfield as well. Nuno Mendes, he looked a little slow coming back from injury, but he still played a good game as well. You could tell that he's playing through something. So let's just see how he does in the second leg. Dembele also had a great game as well with 2 goals. PSG overall, they looked like a really good, scary team capable of scoring a lot of goals. Bayern, they're not a joke as well. They have some firepower. Kane, Diaz, and Olise all scoring. You want to see your forwards score, but you also don't want to concede 5 goals. That's not going to help your chances of winning, especially against the defending Champions League champs. But Bayern Munich, they looked really good. They looked really well-rounded. They looked confident. It's unfortunate they lost. Going back to Germany for the second leg, I predict that Bayern Munich is going to win. I think Bayern Munich goes to the Champions League finals. They're overdue for one. They're a good team. PSG, I think they had like a really insane, probably one of the best games of Champions League this year so far. But I don't see them scoring another 5 goals. They're a scary team. They look good. But Bayern Munich at home is a different animal. So I'm predicting Bayern Munich will go through. I think Olise has another great game. He's been on fire this Champions League. I think Harry Kane, he comes up clutch as well. He scores a goal. I can see Bayern winning 2-0. Or I can just see it going to penalty shootout, and I think Bayern wins at home in a penalty shootout. But I definitely see Bayern in the Champions League final this year. I think the ride for PSG ends here, unfortunately. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to be enjoying these fried crab flavor Chinese Lays. Hopefully I don't get this slag wrong, so I don't need a screwed up combination of Chinese fried crab Lays with hot sauce. So I'm predicting Bayern Munich, you're on to the Champions League finals. Now let's predict who Bayern Munich's opponent's going to be in the Champions League finals. The battle begins here. Atletico Madrid, I think that they can pull this off. I think Atletico Madrid is going to make it through to the Champions League final. They're just a team focused on the Champions League finals. They played Arsenal really well. All the goals in this game were penalty kicks, one by Victor Gyökeres and the other one by Alvarez. This was a really tight game. Atletico Madrid, they're starting to show off why they're annoying in Champions League. They're playing really boring defensive soccer, but hey, it's worked. It's gotten them this far in the Champions League so far. They're in the semifinals. Why break what's broken? Atletico Madrid, they definitely seem to have only this to play for. They know they're not going to win La Liga. They know they're playing a team that's on the serious verge of a big collapse. So we're going to have to stay tuned to see if Arsenal bottles. I predict that the bottle happens here. Well, at least portion of it. This is why I think Arsenal is going to lose to Atletico Madrid. I can just see Arsenal being too far in their head. I feel like the roster that Arteta is using isn't even their best roster for Champions League. I feel like he's focused on the league. He's not starting players like Eze. He's coming off of the bench. Declan Rice, he's normally clutch for them in Champions League. He hasn't been too special this Champions League as well. Unless show up in the semifinals and he's starting Declan Rice, good luck Arsenal. Atletico Madrid is going to find a way to shut you guys down. I also think that Gyökeres, I think he's a great striker, but I don't think he knows how to capture the moment yet. I think a guy like Gabriel Jesus, who's just a good goal scoring machine, yeah, he's a little older. I think he should be starting just to set the tempo. We'll see what Arteta does next game. and he should have Gyökeres off the bench. But I don't see him doing it. I see him just starting Gyökeres in the Champions League squad and then having Jesus come off just to replace him. In theory, that might work, but I think you're better off, especially in an elimination game, you're better off starting Jesus, getting the tempo up, and then having a guy like Gyökeres come in and being a fresh pair of legs. But we'll see what Arteta does. I think Arteta is just really focused on the league and he's getting over in his head. I could sense that the guy knows that his job is in danger if he bottles. I really do. And I feel like that's just setting a precedence in the locker room, just causing negativity. Atletico Madrid, on the other hand, they have the momentum. They're playing gritty, boring, defensive soccer that works in these tournaments. That's how you win these tournaments. You win these tournaments by literally parking the bus, getting a cheap goal, and just praying. And I think Atletico Madrid has that formula down to a science this Champions League so far. Seems to have worked against Barcelona. We'll see what Atletico Madrid can actually do this game. I think they're going to get a cheap goal, or I think they just have a boring draw up until penalty shootout. And I think Oblak demonstrates why he's a world-class goalie. Arsenal, they have a great goalie as well, but I don't know. I'd rather just have Oblak in that. He looks like he's more confident, and for a penalty shootout, I think he would probably be the best bet. And that's why I think Arsenal isn't going to make it to the Champions League finals and continue on with their wonderful bottle season. Unless Declan Rice pulls off a bunch of amazing free kicks like he did last year, I unfortunately think the journey is done for Arsenal. Atletico Madrid's boring, annoying defensive soccer gets them through to the finals. I'm predicting a Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid Champions League finals. And if I'm wrong, the food review for the next video is going to be this with some hot sauce. The last time I did that, it really screwed up my stomach. So hopefully I could just enjoy on the next video my fried crab flavored Chinese Lays. I still gotta give you a review on it, and I definitely will in the next video. Thank you for watching this episode of the Football Foodie. Stay tuned, we're gonna be releasing a lot more videos. We're gonna start our World Cup theme very soon. And there's going to be a contest attached to that as well with a giveaway. That's going to be starting very soon. We'll find out who's going to win the World Cup. But first, let's find out who goes to the Champions League finals. Thank you for watching another episode of the Football Foodie. I'll catch you on the next one.